Hello, hello. I believe we are live. Happy full moon, everybody. Happy full moon. This is our first full moon release. And I really wanted to align the release dates of our Dharma bangles to the moon cycle, because this is a really powerful time for coming into our fullness, coming into our full power. And it's all about release. Release of all that has been cultivated, accumulating, and allowing things to be in circulation, right? And those are some of the qualities that Karma Collab and these Dharma bangles do represent. Coming into our full power, our Dharma, our purpose, circulating abundance, releasing gripping on finances, basically. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about turning anger into action, because that was really one of the first seeds that started this project back 7 years ago. Hi to those of you that are popping on live. I feel like most of you are going to be seeing this recorded, but thank you if you're here. It's so nice to feel you. So I want to take you back to another really powerful time in my life where I had been called through my intuition, through dreams, to go back to this village in North India, in Rajasthan, that I had visited on the very, very first trip I ever took when I was 18 to India. And I'd always loved this village, but I kind of visited it for a few days and then was on my way, and it'd just been coming up for me again and again and again, and this was years later. So I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna listen to this. I'd had some really powerful dreams, so I was like, I'm gonna listen to this dream and just go there and see what unfolds. And I didn't have like big expectations, but I just knew for some reason I was meant to go there, and so I did. And within some of the first days, I'd say the first week, I met a particular young mother, and she kind of befriended me, or I befriended her. And, you know, I spent some time, some days, some weeks, just kind of hanging out and hearing her stories in her broken English and my broken Hindi, and kind of just piecing together the makeup of her life experience so far. She had a little baby. She had like a 1-year-old. And that was, I guess, something that like I was drawn to her through her baby. This little baby was just so cute. And maybe even like, you know, beyond cute, this baby had like a divine magnetism, and certainly affected the trajectory of my life without her even knowing. So this girl, you know, she was a young mom. She was telling me all the stories of her life and things that, you know, were important to her, and things that had happened to her. And I guess I want to preface all of this by saying I want to share this story and stories going forward of what I've witnessed, because I feel that it's really, really important to me to tell the truth about what's going on in these communities that we are endeavoring to support and to help, to serve. And I don't just want to be sharing, you know, their like beautiful kids' faces and there's, you know, the smiles of the women that we're helping. I want to give voice to and give presence to the reality of the situation, which is, it feels really important to know. You know, I don't want to present like this romanticized version of events, because it's honestly not romantic at all. And for one of the first times in my life, as I was hearing the stories of this young mother, I was starting to feel really enraged, and anger to the degree that nothing in my own life had ever warranted. You know, like nothing had ever made me that angry. And I personally am like it's not in my constitution to really feel angry very often. And so as it was coming up, this absolute boiling rage at hearing her stories of being abused sexually and physically, of seeing her home, which was very humble, you know, dirt floors, no running water. And, you know, I knew that anger was something important for me to listen to. At one point, I asked this girl, this young woman, how old she was. And she didn't really know exactly how old, but she told me that her older sister, who I'd also met, had just turned 20. So she's younger than 20. She'd already had a miscarriage. She had now this 1-year-old baby who she was unable to breastfeed because of her own, I guess we can say, malnutrition. And so this little baby has been eating chapatis, like fried bread, like nothingness, flour and water, since, you know, however old, like maybe 6 months old or something. I don't know exactly, but, you know, so like this little baby. And, you know, she told me about her husband. And I was also in my 20s at the time, and kind of, I knew about arranged marriages and stuff like that in India, but to kind of become friends with this girl and know that she was 20, she had this little baby, and she had told me some stories, you know, about her husband who was a gambler and drinking, which in North India it's not a very common, like it's unusual for people to drink alcohol. So he's, you know, drinking, he's gambling, they're God knows what money, and abusing her physically. And one day it kind of just crossed my mind to ask, like, how old is your husband? And she said she didn't know how old he was, but he had gray hair. And I was shocked. I had been imagining, you know, for that time that I knew her, those weeks, you know, her young husband, like also in his 20s, you know. And it made me so mad. It made me so mad to know that this girl who was so full of spark and spunk had been born into this life circumstance that was just so critically unfair, especially knowing the way that I had been living, the life that I had been born into and everyone I knew, and how different our life was. You know, the contrast. It felt very stark, a big contrast in what we had seen, and for no good reason, you know. It was shocking to see how these girls were living in like 2016. I'm not talking 50 years ago, like how people are living now while we are living the way we're living. It's just beyond comprehension that this is all happening in the same moment on the same planet. So it made me mad, and I wanted to finally do something. I'd been going to India for years and always, you know, feeling to do something, to give back in some way to this place that had given to me so much. But there was so many issues, you know, and there still are, as with it, there are everywhere. But, you know, there's the economic issues, there's the poverty, there's the environmental issues, there's plastic. So where to begin? When I was speaking to this young woman, I knew that it was time, you know, just to move forward with doing something and not look back, not hold back at all. And so the first jewelry collection for Karma Collab was born out of that sole intention to create this jewelry so that we can circulate some abundance back to this community. And so it continues, and here we are 7 years later, and with the same intention. Every Dharma bangle that we have created now here in Bali, so bangles have transitioned from India to Bali, and every single one of these bangles, all of the profits, I don't take any money from this project, all the profits go to providing financial aid to women who really need it. So you can wear this Dharma bangle knowing full well that you are contributing to the life of another woman in a big, big way. And we can do something, you know, we can do something, and it makes a big change. And so not only are these Dharma bangles providing education for the girls in this community and providing the mothers with support through their childbirth, we're also providing an income to the artisans that make this jewelry for us by hand with love. We're also receiving the therapeutic benefits of the precious metals that we're wearing on our body, on our skin. And it serves as a reminder of our own personal Dharma, our own purpose, and the contribution that we are making. Whether that's, you know, like through this project, yes, but in our own life, in every moment, to live in service in the ways that I know we all are already being the change. So I know that education is really the key to dissolving this cycle of poverty that many, many, many girls are born into. But not only does that education, you know, liberate her, it goes on to liberate her family, her future family. These girls, the investment that we make in these girls is just like an infinite payoff. The return on investment is infinite. And so I know, and you know, in my feeling, in my body, in my heart, and also through the research that I've done, the study that I've done with not-for-profits, education is the key to making changes in all these other aspects of life. These girls, you know, who go on to be mothers, they become more conscious of health and hygiene. They become more conscious of the environmental issues that we're all facing. So it goes on, and education is really the best start. So my loves, our Dharma bangles are available now, releasing on the full moon. Our shop will be open for 5 days only, or until this round is sold out. And you can see all of the information, the nitty-gritty details about these beautiful bangles on our website, of course, but you should know that they have been designed using the inspiration of the original gypsy bangles from this village that I was first seeded with the idea of Karma Collab. And like I said before, we're now making them in Bali by a beautiful family that are a lineage of jewelry makers, and we're using really high grade precious metals. So we have 3 different types, and each of them are balancing for the 3 different Ayurvedic doshas. If you're across the doshas, you'll know what I mean. But basically, the idea is that the metals, the jewelry, just like the crystals and the stones that we wear on our body, they make a change in our constitution. And so the gold is actually a blend of gold and brass, and it's balancing for Vata. The copper bangle is balancing for Kapha, and the silver bangle is balancing for Pitta. And so they each have the therapeutic effect, but they also have, that real intention behind it. And as you put it on your body, you are you're wearing your intention, you're adorning your temple, the altar of your body. So the silver, like I said, for Pitta, can you see it here, I wonder? The silver bangle, I've been wearing these for over a year now. I never take them off. The silver bangle is connected to the moon. So it's called Soma, and it's that nourishing, rejuvenating nectar that pours forth from the moon, and we feel it at full power with the full moon as that light, pours onto the earth. It's cooling, it's calming, and in a sense, this feminine nurturing essence. Whereas the copper, I wonder again if you're going to be able to see, I didn't really plan this to do this in this light, but the copper bangle, if you can see it there, is balancing for Kapha, and it's called Rosa. The village in Rajasthan that I was just talking about, it's really famous for growing roses. And this kind of rosy, goldy, coppery color is connected to the heart, very balancing and invigorating for the heart and lungs, opening for the heart and lungs. And the intention behind it is really to come into resonance with compassion for ourselves and for everybody. And everything to do with the heart, it's this generosity of spirit, unconditional love, longevity love. And then the gold one is balancing for Vata and connected to the sun. It's called Surya, the spiritual sun, the power that sustains all of life on our planet. It's warming, it's grounding, and so very soothing for the nervous system also. I wear all 3, and so you can do that. The set of 3 is a direct donation to sponsoring a mother through childbirth, and we also have a stack of 5 called the Gypsy Stack, and that provides a direct sponsorship for a girl to receive education, to go to school. So, and you can also get singles. So if you're wearing all 3, you can think of it as tridoshic, balancing for all 3 doshas at the same time, because as in the way that I understand it, we are all made up of all 3 doshas, just in varying amounts, and our environment, our context also plays into it. So, okay, I'm going to leave it here for now, but thank you all for being here. For those of you that are still here live, thank you. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and being interested in this project and these girls and these mamas that have inspired me so much. Oh, it means so much to be finally back in the driver's seat of this project and really bringing some life force back to it. It's been on a little hiatus, but now, yeah, we're back. So my loves, have a beautiful full moon days, and jump over to the website. And if this collection, if these girls, if this project is inspiring you, if you have ever felt that surge of anger that, you know, propels you into action, know that that is here. And that's kind of what started this whole thing. And I believe that, yeah, it can be really amazing fuel for us to make the changes and to affect the transformation that we want to see for our generation and generations to come. Share this with a sister, a friend, your mum, anyone that you think might also be resonating with this, and jump over to the website, check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm so happy to chat, to be connected, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Ciao.